So this would be my wine progress video. Oh, let's see. It's really going now. That's awesome. It has been, let's see, what did I spend? The first like 3 or 4 days of natural yeast just fermenting the grapes in some water. Then I added a bunch of dark brown and light brown sugar and water, and then I decided to top it up, and I did that with 3 pounds of honey. And so what was that? I think 6 or 7 pounds of brown sugar, about 4 of the dark, 3 of the light, 3 pounds of honey, and so what I did today, let's see, I think it's been a week since I added the other water and sugar and honey. When I would crack it open to check it, it was definitely fermenting. You can definitely smell it's boozy. And by the calculations of what I've put into it, this should be about the 13-14% alcohol. Should still be mildly sweet, but it's going to definitely be a drier wine. So what I did today was, and I'm not going to pop this open and show you because I've already got it closed up, and obviously we're doing good here, so I'm just going to let it keep going. But I will narrate as this bubbles. Today what I did was strain out the maceration so that there's no grape skins or seeds in there anymore. In doing that, I think I recovered about 6 pounds of material from the 8 pounds that were originally put in, which means there's about 2 pounds of must and all juice and liquid that stayed in here. So I strained that all out, and then it was interesting because there was a whole bunch of I don't know if it was grape must or yeast silt or what was in the liquid, but as I would run the strainer through and dump the seeds into a bowl and all the skins, I'd have to run the strainer under a faucet to wash all of this must or yeast silt or whatever it was out. I'm not 100% sure on what it was, but I had to rinse it out every time and then go back into scooping and dipping. So eventually I got most of the top and ended up basically pouring the rest through the strainer into a freshly washed bucket. And that ended up being kind of a pain in the ass and splattered a little bit, which is a really good thing I did it in the bathtub. And I think, let's see, what was it? I went over through the strainer into the bucket. Then I knew that some things had still got through. So then I sealed up the new bucket, rinsed out the one I just dumped out until it was good and clear. Then put the strainer on that and poured the wine back through. After, of course, I had to pause periodically and rinse must and silt out of the strainer. Then I did it a third time, and I believe I did it a fourth time, and the fourth time nothing came out in the strainer. It was just the wine, and it was bubbling the whole time I was doing it because pouring it through a strainer in the open air and just all of that mixing and agitation that it did really aerated this 5-gallon bucket of wine. And the thing is, the level of the wine is actually up to about here in the bucket. It's way too high. So it was definitely fermented, and it definitely got the tannins in it. And I'm hoping the noble rot as well. So then I went ahead and added, I heated up 4 cups at a time, because that's the biggest measuring cup I have for my microwave. 4 cups at a time of a gallon of distilled water, and I had a fresh Pyrex bowl that I'd cleaned out, sanitized. And I got these 8 cups of water in there with, well, actually about 6 cups, I think is what fit. And 2 more pounds of brown sugar, the light brown, dissolved it in the water the proper way, and rather than the previous stuff I just kind of dumped in and stirred up really good. Mix it in the boiling or nearly boiling water, and then using a funnel, put it back into the gallon jug that it came from until I had that full up and a little bit extra. And so then ran a cold water bath in the bathroom sink to get the temperature down on the gallon of sugar water so that I could safely pour it in without harming the yeast that was already in there. So then I got that done eventually. It took about 5 minutes in the water to cool it down really good. It wasn't like cold. It was above room temperature, but I think it was definitely going to be good for feeding the yeast, as we can see here. And so I poured that in and stirred it up really good. And then the remainder of the sugar water that I couldn't fit into the jug, I poured in as well. So yeah, it is a real 5-gallon batch. Like I said, we're 5-gallon bucket. We're up to literally here. There's just enough room. I think there's about that much space between the top of the surface of the wine, and this little thing is only about a 1/4 inch below the top here. So the water or the wine level really is like right up to here. And so I'm gonna try and get some more tube in here. That was me pushing on that. Get all of that. Okay. Trying to get it to stay a little farther down in the water here. But the more I do it, the farther the water moves up the tube. So hopefully that's okay there. So anyways, that is today's wine update. I know this is very exciting with all kinds of brilliant footage. Sitting here watching me watch this thing fart or burp. But anyways, yeah, we've definitely had some good fermentation activity today. Like I said, got the maceration strained out. So this is down to just the actual final liquid of the wine. There'll be a little bit of silt over time. So I'm going to let this go for at least a week here and see how long this keeps bubbling. And if it just keeps bubbling, then I'm just going to keep letting it bubble. But eventually it is going to get put up into that. And that has its own bubbler top with a similar hose setup so that I can have it run into here and we can keep it airtight. And if you want to see, the bottom has that little raised up part in it, which means that the silt should gather around the bottom line and then leave me a place that I can kind of dangle a siphon tube right up there and then siphon it on out. Make sure that this is not holding water. That is the best way to do it. So there we are. Looks like that's, yep, air in the tube. All right. So, anyways, that's what we got. That's what it's doing. I just had hearing it from time to time going, and then it'll pause for a while and it'll build up pressure. And although that right there was my stomach. So, anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. That's what we got so far.